below the man boobs, you get a gut, a belly. And from what I'm reading online, that is the epitome of a dad bod, along with the flip flops and shorts. So now you have the whole ensemble.
You have to add a fanny pack to that?
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen some. He's been engaged 12 times. There's a jeweler somewhere that probably bought a vacation home in Spain. Just on him alone, on the proceeds that he made from the profits off your brother. Or maybe he came back, if you buy 5, I'll give you 1 free. I don't know.
Another beautiful day, another beautiful episode. My good friend Al Bandiero, how are we doing?
My friend Diamond Boy Lewis, I am doing wonderful. Of 2 guys, I'm just saying, this is. I'm excited about this topic today. When you told me, "Hey, how about this?" So
yes,
the floor is yours.
Listen, I got to tell everybody, thank you to everybody that's been joining us on Spotify and all the different platforms and on YouTube. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. 2 guys, I'm just saying, every Tuesday, new episodes at 9 a.m. Listen, big trend all over all over the man's world, right? We've gone from becoming cool with a dad bod to now becoming cool with dad rock.
I heard about when you told me about this, and the official title, and I don't want the ladies watching or listening to go anywhere, because ladies, you're going to get a kick out of this.
Yes.
And you're probably going to get a little pissed at the same time. So, you should stay and keep listening to the podcast. So the official title, when I did some research on it, is Divorce Dad Rock. Which is another title that I've never heard of. Like, I heard of dad rock, but then I never heard of divorced dad rock. So can you be specific as exactly what is divorced dad rock?
All right. So we all know music is changing. We're getting older. A lot of new genres are coming up. So we got the classic rock, but we think about classic rock. We think about, Queen, AC/DC, the Beatles, the Eagles.
Sure, Led Zeppelin,
stuff, yeah, stuff like
Chicago,
that. Yeah. Now into this genre of dad rock or divorced dad rock. Now we're looking into 90s, late 80s, 90s, and up to like the year 2005 bands, which I guess it's like you're like caught in limbo because you're not really classic enough, but you're still not new. Is it insulting that this is called Divorced Dad Rock?
Well, you know what? No, I don't think it is. But give us a couple of bands for the audience that would fit into this genre.
Okay. I never thought of this band of getting into that genre or eventually becoming into a classic just because I grew up with them. Blink 182.
Wow. Okay.
To me, they're a newer band, a great rock and roll band that has done from heavy to more pop to ballad and everything. And I didn't even think of them that they've been in the music industry so long. Metallica.
Oh my God. Yeah. So would now Nirvana be in that?
Yes.
In that,
Nirvana is in this list of, dad rock, but divorced dad rock. But you start thinking about this band and you're like, okay, really? It's like, I mean, I know we were, late teens, early in college. When Creed, I would never think of Creed in this category. When I first heard the category, I thought it was going to be like, like bubblegum music and these bands that we were like, we don't, I'm not. But no, these are major bands.
So
Disturbed for those people that like the heavy set rock and roll
heavy
music.
Set. Wait, what did you mean by heavy set? Because now that's a different category. That's a dad bod, which I learned about that. I mean, you know that I've been in fitness my whole life, so
yeah,
I won't go down that road just for health reasons. But the dad bod gets into, from what I'm understanding, because what is a dad bod? So the dad bod gets into you're developing man boobs, which that alone is like, yo, guy, get in the gym. And then below the man boobs, you get a gut, a belly. And from what I'm reading online, that is the epitome of a dad bod, along with the flip flops and shorts. So now you have the whole ensemble.
Do you have to add a fanny pack to that?
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen some. I've seen some. But the thing about it is the divorced dad rock.
Okay.
We were talking about it. So, does that bring them back and they're listening to this music because it brings them back obviously to an earlier time, or is it a better time? And then exactly what is a divorced dad in today's world listening to that particular type of music? And I'll give you an example. We're walking out of this supermarket, and we're walking towards this brand new sport Bentley. If you've seen it, it's convertible. Yeah. They have the diamond seats of the diamond shaped seats. And it was beautiful. And I had seen it on a commercial, but never in person. This day, as we're walking out, it's parked right there in the parking lot. Nice. So in front of us was a man walking in the same direction we were. And great timing, it's his car. You could see this car just came off the lot. So for a second, I stopped him. I said, wow, this is beautiful. And he said, I couldn't find it no matter where I was looking at Palm Beach, because that's where we were. He said, I had to go all the way down to Miami. They had one down there in this dealership. I picked it up. I said, how do you like it? It was phenomenal. Car probably went for about $350,000. Easy. Oof. Okay. But it was magnificent.
Yes.
So we started chatting a little bit, and this went into this divorced dad rock, as we're speaking about today. And the divorced dad rock, he turned to me and I said, hey, congratulations. I said, your wife must love it. He said, no, I'm divorced. And he started getting into, I raised my kids, became empty nesters. I realized I did not get along with my wife for a long time. And I wanted to go live my life and do what I want to do now and buy whatever I want to buy. And I was interested in, he just went on and on and on. I almost felt like Father Al if I had a collar. And he said, and now, and this was the clincher. I said, well, enjoy the car. And he said, I am. But now in that seat, and he pointed to the passenger seat, he said, maybe an average of a 35-year-old woman.
Oh.
And I went, oh, okay. We see what this is all about now. And he was, I'm going to guesstimate, about 60 to 65.
Okay.
So he was at least double, but he was in good shape, kept himself fine. He said to me, this is my time. So now when you bringing this up about, and that at one point used to be called a midlife crisis. It's not called a midlife crisis anymore. No. Now I guess with these divorced guys, what they do is they feel I raised my family. I don't have anything in common anymore with my wife. However they do the settlement, and then they go on out there to live their life.
But do you think this is because obviously they're going back to relive their cool years, right? I mean, I still got cool years, so Metallica is not only my cool years. I'm
yeah.
But you start to think about it, and Is it the guy that's driving the IROC Z? And you know what's funny? Like 4 days ago, I saw a guy drive by in front of our cigar lounge with an IROC Z. That's why I remembered the car, and I was like, wow, I remember when I was a kid, and people that I look up to had that car. It was immaculate.
How old was the guy?
He looked to be early 60s ish.
Wow,
around there. It could be younger because, Florida sun is a little bit harsh on some people.
Yeah, brutal. Yeah. Yeah. It can age you in a hurry.
But he had the rock and roll turned up. I believe he was listening to Guns N' Roses. And I was like, I used to love that band. Obviously they don't have any new music, but I was like, man, but the whole scenario, I was like, all right, I dig it. And I understand it.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far of putting myself in an IROC. It's just for me that I have a certain, that's not my kind of car, but I get it, but I do it. And I'm sure you do it. When I get in the car, I want to listen to what I want to listen to. My taste is varied. I can go from classic rock, into listening, if I feel like in a mellow mood, Chris Bodie, great trumpet player that used to back up Sting. And now he's been on his own for years. It depends on, whatever mood I'm in. I was talking to Marlene about it. I said, okay, if a woman gets older, what is the older equivalent of what that guy did? Like he went out and bought, because he obviously could afford it, a $350,000 car. That's just a car. Now he probably had to go out and buy himself a house or a condo, because I'm sure he gave the wife the house, or who knows? Sometimes they buy it out. And Marlene was really interesting because she said the men do something in a different direction. She said, but what I notice a lot of women when they get older and they're divorced is they don't want to date a lot, or they go through it and it's a disaster. So they start traveling with friends. Correct. They start joining all female groups that can relate. And I noticed that when she said that, I said, yeah, men do that maybe at a cigar lounge, or some men, if they have the same type of cars, there are these car clubs that they go to maybe on a weekend just to hang out. But when older men start to go on their own way, one of the things they look, and I wonder if this is the ego, that if they can get a younger woman, even to date or whatever, I wonder, is that their ego saying, yeah, I can still do it? I wonder psychologically if that's, look, I'm going out with a 35-year-old. I remember a friend of mine saying that he actually did this. And this was the one of the funniest quotes I ever heard. He had the band, Paul McCartney with Wings. So he had Paul McCartney's song on, and the girl sitting next to him was, I don't know, half his age. And she said, oh, wasn't that guy in the group Wings? So he said, yeah, but he was in a group called the Beatles. And she just went, oh, really? And I'm thinking, come on, man. I don't care how old or young you are. How do you not know about this band, especially on social media? But that was the gap of, so you immediately went with Paul McCartney into Wings rather than, Paul McCartney and the Beatles. And that was the age gap.
I think a lot of these guys, and I can't relate to that. I enjoy a lot of music like you. I mean, we have our taste in music is so broad. Like we don't gravitate just to one genre. Yeah. But I think going down this list and some of the things that we've seen and actually older friends that have gone through this process, and once they get divorced and they try to recreate their I'm guessing what they call their cool years.
But I do agree with you that there are some men, I think, that are trying to relive their youth, which listening to music, watching great older movies and, getting a kick out of it, that's one thing. But I think when you're trying to recapture something that happened, quite a bit ago can sometimes look a little bit embarrassing.
Well, I got to tell you, a lot of these bands that they put on this list, I mean, Green Day, Korn,
Wow.
Incubus. I mean, you're talking just 90s bands. But that also has Limp Bizkit, which it was, mid to late 90s. So, I mean, I still enjoy other genres from the 90s. I mean, so is Eminem considered like a divorced dad music? I don't know. There were so many other. I mean, what are the kids that NSYNC? NSYNC came out in the mid 90s.
Yeah. All those, what do they used to call them? Boy bands, right?
Yeah, the boy bands.
So
exactly.
If you are putting a genre together that is now called divorced dad rock, okay, it's the rock. But if, let's say you encompass divorced dad music.
Yeah.
And if it's from like what you were just saying, anywhere could be from late 80s into the 90s, early 2000, it's still that genre, not only the music, but that era. So when you look at that, and I'm listening to you name these bands and these artists, it's a little bit like, what? You can't believe that that's how fast the time has gone. And it stops you in your tracks a little bit because, when people say, oh, this happened in 95, your first reaction, I don't know, mine is, oh, that was like last year, right?
Exactly.
That's what you think for a second. And then you realize like, whoa. And maybe that's part of the psychological thing that people have turned around. They have gone through whatever they've gone through. And I guess my question to you would be, is it viewed as selfish that I did what I did, put all my time, my effort, my ups, my downs, and now I'm in a point of my life where I have me?
See, for those of you that have met Al and myself not too long ago in this podcast that don't know our great history together, Al has been with me through all my wars. I'm in my third tour of marriage now. But I got to tell you, and you and I have had this conversation. I have a older brother of mine that can't be by himself, and he's been engaged for. I think he's been engaged 12 times, and I'm not even exaggerating or making a joke about it. It's just realistic. I got to tell you, after my second divorce, I took a lot of time to do exactly that. Right. I did what I wanted to do, but I took a lot of time to learn more about myself and what I enjoyed and I wasn't willing to give up. So I mean, if you take that journey, I don't think it's selfish. Now, if you go, you just, you ended your relationship and you're trying to relive your late teens, your early 20s when you were in college and partying it up and stuff like that, then I think it becomes a little bit reckless and that could be viewed as a little bit selfish. I got to tell you, now that you mentioned selfish, what did come to mind, also, for those of you that don't know Al and I's history, Al has really always pushed me to be a little bit more conscious about my health and about fitness. And in my younger years, there was a point that I hit a little bit over 300 pounds, and then I took my life a little bit more serious. But I have friends that have gone through that journey, and when they lose the weight, something clicks in their head that they got to relive a part of their life that they, I don't know, it skipped. I don't know if they weren't happy with it. And that, to me, I had this conversation, now that you say selfish, to a friend of mine who had a beautiful family. And because he lost a ton of weight, he thought he was another type of person and he could live another life and completely dismantle his older life and his family life just to try to go live this life. So to me, that part, if you're doing it, trying to relive something that already passed, I think it's selfish. Now, if you're becoming a new person and you're learning about yourself and you're growing, then that's where I put the balance. If you're trying to relive the past, it's selfish. If you're trying to relive something new because you're growing and it doesn't fit where you're at, because, part of the growth and when you're trying to strive bigger and better things is just, you're not going to do the same thing always, then you're moving forward.
Yeah, so I agree with that. I know you and I had that conversation about your brother that I had not known until now that he's been engaged 12 times. There's a jeweler somewhere that probably bought a vacation home in Spain. Just on him alone, on the proceeds that he made from the profits off your brother. Or maybe he came back, if you buy 5, I'll give you 1 free. I don't know. But when you get back to what this guy, this older man in the parking lot of this supermarket, the whole thing about him explaining where he was in this life to Father Al was he was very calm about it. He was, I raised my kids. I gave them great things. I gave them an education I paid for. Didn't realize that my wife and I really didn't have anything in common anymore. And all of a sudden the kids leave and we're empty nesters. And I turn to look at her. She turns to look at me, blank. There's nothing there. He was very calm. And he said, so I wanted to be on my own. And then he pointed to the car and said, and this was my first toy for me.